Hello students, today we'll discuss ray optics. Ray optics involves a lot of geometry, that's why we also call it as geometrical optics. In ray optics, we consider light as rays. Problem solving involves giving incidence angle and finding reflection angle, giving object distance and finding image distance. So first, we will segregate the chapter philosophically into two types. If light goes into other medium, we call refraction, and if light returns back into the medium of incidence, we call it as reflection. That's been defined. So when light hits or incident on highly polished surface like mirrors, then there will be 100% reflection. In case of ordinary pen, paper and all, reflection is there, but it is partial. Now reflection, whether we study at plane surface or at curved surface, two laws are important. So we have to understand these two laws. First law says that incident ray, reflected ray, normal lie in same plane. So if I take a silvered surface here and we draw a normal is like a person standing on a floor. So normal is perpendicular to surface, not normal is perpendicular to a line. So we incident the ray like this, which we call it as incident ray, and reflected ray goes like this, as shown in the figure. So the angle made by the incident ray with the normal we call angle of incidence. The angle made by the reflected ray with the normal we call angle of reflection. So according to second law, both angles will be equal. According to first law, these three lie in same plane, that is incident ray, normal and reflected ray. If I change the incident ray into other plane with respect to normal, then reflected ray also changes. Always they come in V shape in a same plane. This is an imaginary plane which has been shown here, where reflection is happening from this mirror, blackened mirror or silvered mirror, this one. So the other important aspect regarding reflection at plane surface, we will go to curved surface later, is lateral inversion. That is, the object nearer to the mirror appears to be nearer, the object far away from the mirror appears to be farther. In such case, left and right for us becomes right and left in the mirror. This phenomenon is called lateral inversion. This we see in case of ambulance, where it has been written in reverse order like that. Coming to the problem solving involving plane mirrors, they may give one mirror and they can ask you the deviation. So the incident ray extended and the reflected ray extended, if you write it, the deviation produced will get it. So it's given by the formula dou is equal to 180 minus 2i. It's a simple derivation available in many textbooks, but here it is synopsis we are going through. So we will recollect everything, we are not going to derive anything. So you can remember this. If at all there are multiple mirrors inclined at some angle theta, so first reflection, second reflection, deviation is given by 360 minus 2 theta, where theta is the angle between the mirrors. I is the angle of incidence with respect to the normal in the first mirror, theta is the angle between the mirrors. So two formulas you have to by heart. Deviation in case of single mirror, deviation in case of inclined mirrors. Now next concept on which problems are being asked in competitive examinations is parallel mirrors. This happens in case of showroom, when we go for dressing rooms in showrooms and all, when we have two parallel mirrors. Suppose object is not symmetrical. For example, this distance is 7 centimeters, middle is 3.5. If we are little right side, then this distance is 5 and this distance is 2, then it's asymmetrical. When it is asymmetrical, so first image on this side happens at 2, right side, first image on left side happens at 5, because object distance and image distance are equal. Next onwards, the images, you have to add this distance in a crisscross way. 5 plus 7, 12. So next the image will happen at right side of the mirror at 12. Left side again you have to crisscross it. 2 plus 7, distance between the mirrors, that is 9. So next image at left side will happen, first image happens at 5, next image happens at 7. In that way, we can tell where is the fourth image from the right side, where is the seventh image from the left side, so on. Now we focus our attention on reflection at curved surfaces. The law, the incident ray, reflected ray, normal lie in same plane, angle I is equal to angle R will not change. But the thing is, in case of flat mirrors, plane mirrors, all normals will be parallel. Here all normals will intersect at a point, and that point we call center of curvature. In case of spherical mirrors, that is a mirror cut from a sphere. This do not hold true in case of paraboloidal or ellipsoidal mirrors. So let us take two mirrors which we call it as concave mirror, which is concave side reflecting, convex mirror which is convex side reflecting. Angle I is equal to angle R, but normals are not parallel. So we need to learn a simplified version called ray tracing, that is when ray comes parallel to the principal axis, passes through focus, when ray incident on the pole makes equal angles. These are all things you learnt in 10th class, you need to learn it again. So ray diagrams, that is when object is at infinity, where is the image formed, when object is at center of curvature, where is the image formed, that is ray diagrams. So ray tracing, ray diagrams, once you learn it, then we can do problems involving spherical mirrors. So for a concave mirror, from the pole we make the measurement in the direction of incident ray right side, though right side distances are positive, but all the distances we measure towards left. Focal length is towards left, center of curvature is towards left. So in that context, R and F, radius of curvature and focal length, are negative. U left side is negative, V left side is negative. They are real now. If you get any image on the right hand side or the back side of the mirror, that we call virtual. In case of convex mirror, curvature is facing towards right, so R and F are positive. For both the mirrors, concave and convex, we can use this formula: 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. This is image distance V, object distance U, focal length. Focal length is decided by radius of curvature. So focal length will be half of the radius of curvature in case of mirrors. In case of flat mirror, radius of curvature is infinity, focal length is also infinity. That means rays don't focus. If you send them parallel to the mirror, they will be parallel only. Now coming to magnification, we define ratio of image height to object height as magnification, which is equal to minus V by U. According to derivation, so this distance is left side, upward, downward measurements give you this minus sign, you have to by heart them. For concave mirror, focal length is negative. For convex mirror, focal length is positive. Already I have told you here. And for real object and real image, which are left side, U and V are negative. For any image distance, object distance right side, that is back side of the mirror, we take it to be positive. This is to be remembered. Many a times, this 1 by V, 1 by U, we need to make LCM and get the focal length by reciprocating it and all. So if this part and this formula can be combined to remember in a simplest form, just it's a matter of 5 or 6 steps. We can get a shortcut formula for magnification, that is F by F minus U. Deal with both of this, you will get the answer. And once you get magnification times object distance gives you image distance with minus times. Magnification times of object height gives you image height. This is more convenient way of doing the problems very quickly if you want to get the answer. But this formula holds even for object distance infinity, image distance infinity. Here infinities are not allowed. So two things, that is object at infinity, image at infinity kind of things, we have to use this formula. Remaining all problems can be easily done with this. And magnitude of magnification irrespective of sign, if it is less than 1, image is diminished, more than 1, image is magnified, otherwise it is same size. Magnification signs, minus tells it is inverted, magnification if it is plus, it is erect, that is oriented same as that of object. Radius of curvature is infinity for plane mirror. In that case, this formula gets reduced to V is equal to minus U, that is object distance is equal to image distance, because 1 by infinity is 0. Now these three important diagrams we need to consider. If object is kept very nearer to the concave mirror, convex mirror, object is kept very nearer to the plane mirror, object is kept very nearer to the concave mirror, what will happen? VED, virtual, erect and diminished. This is what we see on rear view mirror of our cars, where object will be erect, virtual because it cannot be caught on the screen, and it will be backside of the mirror, and it will be diminished. This is what we see daily when we are shaving or we are making during makeup. Plane mirror. Object size, image size will be the same. Virtual, because backside of the mirror nothing will exist. Erect and same size. Here it is diminished, here it is same size, here it is magnified. Dental doctors use this kind of mirror. They keep in our mouth to see the dent. If dent size is this much, we will see image to be much magnified. So in case of convex mirror we get diminished image. In case of plane mirror you get same size image. In case of concave mirror you get a magnified image. Remaining is virtual erect, virtual erect, virtual erect, which is same. Next comes refraction. Light, even though it travels in straight lines in transparent medium 1 or in transparent medium 2, that is, before entering a medium also it will be straight, after entering the medium also it will be straight, going straight, traveling straight. But when it meets the interface, there it bends. So this phenomenon do not violate rectilinear propagation, but this phenomena is called refraction. So again, like reflection, refraction also we deal at plane surface, at curved surface separately. So at plane surface, if ray comes from rarer medium where its speed is where speed is high, to a medium where speed is low, air to glass, air medium velocity is 3 into 10 power 8 and comes into glass where its velocity is 2 into 10 power 8, there it bends towards the normal, and the ratio of the speeds, that is 2 into 10 power 8 and 3 into 10 power 8, that division we call it as optical density factor or refractive index. In this case, because the light bends, we have concept of real depth and apparent depth. So at plane surface we'll talk now first. If our eye is in rarer medium, then the object appears to be shifted upwards, that is towards the interface. Then apparent depth will be less than real depth. Real depth divided by mu will give you apparent depth. We are not deriving the formula, we are by hearting the formula. Similarly, if our eye is in denser medium, say we are inside water and seeing a bird, in such case apparent depth will be more than real depth. In that case you have to multiply with the mu. Mu is refractive index of denser medium with respect to rarer medium. And shift can be easily calculated by subtracting real depth minus apparent depth. Here also real depth minus apparent depth. And the same logic can be extended for a glass slab. In case of a glass slab, the ray comes from rarer medium, bends towards the normal. Again when it goes to the denser rarer medium, again it bends away from the normal. There will be a shift, and the shift is given by T, that is thickness of the glass slab, into 1 minus 1 by mu. Similarly, the perpendicular distance between both the rays, that is incoming ray and outgoing ray, emergent ray, is called lateral shift. It is given by T, thickness of the glass slab, cos into angle of incidence minus angle of reflection divided by sine of angle of reflection. These formulas need to be by hearted related to glass slab. These formulas are to be by hearted related to real depth and apparent depth. Now coming to prism. Prism also have plane surfaces only, but only thing is these plane surfaces meet. Here the plane surfaces will be parallel. So refraction at plane surface, refraction at plane surface, refraction at plane surface. Here the refracting angles R1 plus R2 sum will be equal to angle of the prism where these two surfaces meet, that angle. Similarly, angle of incidence with respect to the normal, angle of incidence with respect to normal, both sides sum will be equal to angle of prism plus angle of deviation. Some interesting point, when light comes from not rarer to denser, rather from denser to rarer, as it bends away from the normal, before this light ray grazes the surface, the refracted ray grazes the surface. That is, this angle at which the refracted ray, this angle of incidence for which refracted ray grazes the surface is called critical angle. More than the critical angle, if you incident here the light ray from denser medium towards rarer medium, then instead of undergoing refraction, it undergoes total internal reflection. It comes back into the medium of incidence. This phenomena explains mirage formation, optical fiber and other things. Plus, please go through that concepts also. You may get some objective bit question. And in this case, when we put I equal to C and R equal to 90 in sin I by sin R is equal to mu, we get mu is equal to 1 by sin C. where mu is the refractive index of denser medium with respect to rarer medium, where C is critical angle in the denser medium. Now comes refraction at curved surface. Plane surface, we have prism, glass slab, real depth, apparent depth. In case of this one, curved surface, refractive index of second medium divided by image distance minus refractive index of first medium divided by object distance is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by radius of curvature. This formula holds true. Magnification, as we defined previously, height of image by height of object, that is image distance times of mu1 by object distance times of mu2, v mu1 by u mu2. Again, we are not deriving it, we are by hearting it. But if there are two curved surfaces, left side and right side, and we have a bounded medium in between, air, glass, air, then we can use Lensmaker formula, which states like this: 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. In case of mirrors it was plus, now it is minus. And this focal length is decided by three things: the medium's refractive index, first radius of curvature, second radius of curvature. 1 by f is equal to mu minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. This curvature is facing right side, gets plus sign. This curvature is facing left side, therefore it will get minus sign. Height of the image by height of the object is equal to magnification, which is equal to v by u, where v is the image distance, u is the object distance. And as previously we done shortcut for mirrors, we can also do shortcut for lenses. In that case, magnification of this and this combination, that is 1 by v plus 1 by u, 1 minus 1 by u by 1 by f, can be combined with m is equal to v by u. You will get magnification to be f by f plus u. We can reduce calculation related to LCM, reciprocation and all. Image distance is equal to magnification times object distance. Image height is equal to magnification times object height. So this is the crisp synopsis. Within 18 minutes, we completed most of the ray optics. Please do take care of these concepts. Write down in one page and by heart them. Thank you. Panchavati Ravi Sharma.